Do you want to see my new camera? So, I got the R5, that's right, and I made a video where I talked about almost not getting the R5 and getting the R6 instead. I'll link to that, but gosh, what I want to do is give you my first impressions upon taking this thing out of the box and feeling it, and I will tell you sort of what I like about it, what concerns me about it, and what I plan to do with it moving forward. So before we get started, let me remind you about my podcast. It's called Photobomb, comes out every week. I co-host it with my good friend, Booray Perry, and I'll put a link to the show and his YouTube channel in the description. Now, let's get started with this. First of all, I had my camera delivered while I was at the studio today. It got delivered to my house, and my kids get really, really excited when I get packages at the house. So when I come home from work, they run to the door, Daddy, 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 you got a package. And so my wife brought the girls up to the studio to help me open the box and check this thing out. And as it turns out, 3 small children are more excited about bubble wrap than they are about my camera. What is it? What is it? Come on, Charlie. Come on. There you go. Oh, bubble wrap. This is Daddy's new camera. Do you want to play with it?
Bubble wrap.
Let me get this straight. Are you more excited about the bubble wrap or my new camera?
Both.
Both. Very equitable. All right. So I'm going to open this up and see what it's all about. Maybe make a video of what it's like opening the box. Should we do an unboxing video?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. A gummy.
I guess we're going to do an unboxing video. You got, somebody put gummies. I don't think the people at Adorama put the gummies in there. I think Charlie did. I will tell you that on first impression, this thing is beautiful. I love the way that it feels. I like the button placement, the ergonomics. If you're a Canon shooter and you're a fan of their form factor, my gosh, you are really gonna love this camera. It feels right at home. I've been shooting with the RP, which I talk about in a video that I will link to, for a while because I wanted to get used to mirrorless, because let's just face it, that's the way that most everything is going. And I really did miss the feel. The joystick is there right where you need it, the click wheel, all that stuff. It feels like my 5D3 and my 5D4 felt, but still has the advantages of the mirrorless on top of that. So very excited about how good it feels. The weight is less than my 5D4, but it's not so much so that I think it's gonna make a huge difference day to day, but it's definitely a little smaller, definitely a little lighter without feeling any less substantial. Now let's talk about a couple of other little details. I love the electronic viewfinder and that eyepiece being a little further away from the screen. It keeps my nose off the LCD, which I dig. Speaking of which, that is a gorgeous LCD screen and it flips all the way out. I don't even know why anybody makes cameras that don't do this. It is incredibly, incredibly useful. So my concerns moving forward with this are pretty much like any mirrorless camera. I'm worried about battery life. However, I think it's really cool that the older batteries for the 5D4 are going to be backwards compatible because I got a zillion of those things. But I will definitely be getting another battery or two because, gosh, I just don't think you're going to get as many shots as you're used to on this. It's one of the sacrifices of mirrorless. I'm going to go through the settings and try to optimize it for as good a battery life as I can. And I might make a video just on how far that this thing can go on batteries. Now, the overheating issue that everybody has talked about does concern me. One of the reasons that I bought this camera is because I wanted to play with those higher modes, but in reality, most of the stuff I'm making is like this, and I don't need 120 frames per second, and I don't really need 8K. So even when I do use those, I doubt that I'll be using them for any length of time that would cause me to run into those overheating problems. However, I do hope that Canon mitigates those either with firmware or some kind of hardware attachment. I've seen talk about a lens adapter that's got a built-in heat displacing and other cool stuff like that. So we'll see. It can only get better moving forward. I know that they obviously listen when people want stuff. My first impressions are really, really good. I can't wait to really get started with this thing. I've got some shoots scheduled for next week that I'm just gonna go bananas with it. And I'm also gonna make a video how I set it up. I think that'd be cool too. But subscribe to the channel, like this video, and leave in the comments something that you wanna see with this camera, and I'll see if I can't do that for you, because I know that plenty of you are hanging back waiting to see more reviews and what photographers think about this camera. So I will be using this thing in my business daily, and I will give you a report on, not just as a reviewer, not just as someone who goes out and shoots with it for a couple hours, but I'm gonna put this thing to some hard use and then tell you what I really think about it. So thank you for watching the video. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit the little bell to get notifications, and don't forget to listen to my podcast. I really think you'll like it. And all of that stuff you can do right below me and link in the description to everything else. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.